Hey all, I want to do one more quick ring video for a demo and some experience practice with this kind of feature using a Revolve command. Do a diamond type engagement ring real quick. So here's what we'll do. We'll just start over like normal so everybody can see this since we're still learning the basics. You're going to hit this plus sign, always create part studio, always rename, right click, rename, and we're going to call this diamond ring. Right. In the last video, we started on the right plane. You can do this on any plane, really, but let's go right back to where we were. Sketch here on the right plane. I always turn the plane to me to make a sketch easier when I'm working on it by just clicking the cube here in the side of the screen. Center point circle. In this case, I'm going to do it a little different from the last drawing. Um, Center point circle is click in the middle and pull outward, and I'm just going to pull out until I pull out the size circle. It doesn't matter at this point. And then escape. I have to right click and escape. Here you want to use the escape key on the keyboard always, and by hitting escape I can pull this circle up from the center. I can resize it in and out, so whatever you've got from the beginning really doesn't matter, provided you know how to escape out of the tool. If you notice what happens, the plus symbol means that you have a tool on. If you try to grab the center and pull, you're going to make another circle. If you try and grab the outside edge, you're going to pull another circle. You have to make sure that you know how to escape out of the tool so you can change the size. Uh, Last video, I didn't do this the technical way, but there's a construction tool I can use to help measure things out. One can also turn, like in this case, I have to draw a line to revolve this circle around. I can click this construction tool and draw a line, and it's going to make this dotted line. It's going to still try and create more line, which you have to, again, hit the escape key. I have to right click and hit escape line because this video recording software interferes with my tools in the program here. But you'll see that this, whoa, I hit the wrong button because I was going too quick. If I'm in Sketch, I'm going to click the Revolve tool. It's going to see this is only object on the screen or only shape. So it's going to see that as the face of the sketch. And then it's going to highlight this in red. I have to click the axis. So I have to click this first and then select that as the axis. And I'm just using that as a basic shape for a ring. Again, I can go back into the sketch that I created to build this from the beginning and modify it in any way, shape, or form. I could also put a measurement on here. If I wanted to size this for somebody specifically, I can take a ruler, measure the distance across somebody's finger, get that diameter, and then this will be a radius dimension, but you just split the diameter in half. And if it was 120 millimeters, this is ginormous. This is nobody's finger. I'm just going to leave the measurement as is, but again, I can modify it, hit the green check mark. It goes back into the revolve situation here. Now this is going to be a little bit more advanced, but fun to learn. In this particular case, we just did a revolve. I'm going to take this plane and I'm going to make a new one by clicking the plane button up here. And then I'm offsetting one, so I'm going to offset this. You'll see it. It's going to go upward. It's going to create a new plane. And the point of doing this is you're just going to try and land this plane. If you're going to do this drawing, land it right somewhere in the middle of the ring, as close to the middle as you can get it. I'm just kind of going off to the side and seeing it. Yeah, you want to bury it inside the ring itself. Do that, and then look at it from the top. By clicking the top here, it's going to spin it around. You're going to sketch on that new plane. It's called plane 1 in this case. I'm going to pull a center point circle from here outward. I'm going to actually extrude that on an angle for you to see this. It's going to go up, straight up and out. I want it to go up and out a little bit on an angle. So just like the last step in the Empire State Building, I want to flare that outward in this case. If you plug in a bigger number like 10 degrees, you'll see this really goes out in a much more aggressive angle. I'm going to bring this back down some. But you can see I'm actually building right into the ring in this case. And I'm going to hit the green check mark because I'm done. I'm satisfied. That's what I want it to look like. Now I'm going to click on the front plane to do another drawing here. This is going to be a revolve, but we're going to revolve in a pattern of parts. Let's see. Click front, sketch here on the front plane. And now I'm building inside of this setting here. Let's see. Just bear with me. I'm going to draw something like that, what would hold a diamond. And all it is really something that has this little like sort of like hook in a sense. They're really not super fancy in most cases. And this doesn't have to be a perfect parallel. This can be something like that, which they usually are to make them a little bit stronger. And if I create that shape, see that shape is sitting in the middle of that ring. I'm going to extrude. This is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a pattern that I'm going to build by hitting the extrude button. I want to make it symmetric, so it's being extruded in both directions. I want to bring this down. I can't tell you a number because you can see that you can plug in a number specifically for the size of this thing, but it needs to be small enough to have like 4 of them going around this thing or more. I'll show you what I mean. But so this, if you're going to try this, you want to just use this understanding that you're going to make copies of this and have it wrap itself around. So you don't want it too big. And the next thing is it has to be this. You have to change it from add to new for what we're about to do to work. Hit the check mark. And then this is going to be a pattern. Looks like a Rubik's Cube kind of thing. You can click on that, click circular pattern. I'm going to click on this holding setting that I just made. And then I'm going to click where it says axis of pattern. Wait, this didn't select. There it goes. I needed to select that part. And this has to be a new part. This has to change color. And you have to click here and use what we did here as the axis for that. And now there's like a 4-part setting there that's clearly not going to design-wise fit, but that's okay. There's a way to fix that. But overall, you can see like the size and stuff, it doesn't quite look right because it's too big. That's okay. I'm just going to leave it because I can go back into the sketch that I used to make that thing and start to modify it a little bit right in here and fix it. Let's see what happens if I pull this down like this. Boom. Just buried it inside because of the way I pulled it on the one and patterned out and solved the whole thing. I don't want to get into too much technical detail with something like this, but this is one of those things. You can see now I have these 4 separate parts because I made the first one separate. That was the only way that I can in the 3D modification tools, and these are called features, but the feature ribbon, to make a circular pattern, this had to be its own separate part. So when I did that extrude, that's where that control was made. I put it this in as a new part instead of just adding it. So it looks at it as a separate piece, entirely separate material. So then it can not see it as fused in there. But if you add versus new, it keeps it all together, considers it one part, and then it's seeing it as fused into this thing as one part. So if I were to pattern it, it would pattern this and the ring itself. So anyway, that's a little bit more detail than most people are ready to understand at this point. That's quick, simple design. I'm not going to get into the diamond. That's a little bit complicated, but I can go into turning these visibility controls off for you, including that origin point one. This new plane that we built, you always notice that you can hover over the menu on the left or stuff in your screen here and find out what you're looking at. Click on the white space to get rid of that. But if I need to look for that plane, I can hover down here see it turn orange in the middle of the screen, I want to change that visibility, I can just go over here and hide it. Then right click, edit appearance, get this to a more, you can actually go in here and change all of these at the same time while you're working too. You can do a bunch of different stuff to play around with what it looks like. It's not super fancy, but it will get shiny. You'll see that there are some studio effects. This doesn't design in super high quality because it takes too much performance away from a computer if it's like super beautiful looking. It's just one of those things about CAD programs. It's when you're actually modeling things out, it's not in its highest quality. It's not presentation quality you would call it. It's still in a rough state because if they put too much graphic effect, if they made this look like a video game, and you're a gamer, especially, you'd understand the amount of power that takes and space it takes to run. And this is online, which is amazing how this can do all of this through the internet. But that's another story. Anyway, that's engagement type setting as part of a Revolve training, and then we did some patterns, circular patterns, which is another big amazing thing that you can do with programs like this, is just multiply things out in space. That's a huge, powerful way of thinking about design. It's not starting from scratch with everything, but you're creating, patterns in lots of instances. Like back to the Empire State Building, I would, start to look at things like if you're going to put windows in, how would you do that? You would make linear patterns, and you would be able to make one window multiplied out to fit the space that you're looking to fill, type of thing, versus drawing one by one kind of a story. Anyway, that's revolving diamond ring. See you guys. Thanks for watching.